Rise and Shine practice for Sunday morning. I'd like to warmly welcome you this morning. Let's take a moment to begin together and arrive in the place where we are seated. We do that by taking a moment to let our brain recognize how our bodies are held by our seats. Let's go ahead and take a moment to shift our focus inward and recognize how we are held. Let's do that together now. And as you're noticing how you are held, we want to take a moment to recognize which part of our body, which part of your body feels the most held by the place where you are seated. And as you're recognizing that, you want to take a moment and let your brain see, here is where I am already held, right where I am seated. Here is where I am already held, right where I am seated. And we want to take a moment to notice that with our brain. And then we want to take a moment to allow our body to absorb that or to take that in a little bit further. So we want to give the body about a minute. And then take a moment to notice, what does that quality of support feel like to you? And can you draw that into your body diagram? So today we're going to do something a little bit different. Think about your infinite flow model, and think about, first we're arriving with our challenge, and then we're resting into what the divine is providing us, and we're moving into relationship with our creator, and we're saying, this is how I've done it, and our creator is responding to us with that. That's what we're doing in the rise and shine. And we're moving into a rest practice, and we're being given direction to do something new in our day. So that's this side. We talk about the I'm embodiment, being in relationship very profoundly with both the things that feel like they're limiting me, and being in relationship with where I'm being called forward into my new possibilities. So take your hands and just put them up. And when we have those parentheses around the in Christ, in spirit, embodiment, in, the road through is in. And if you put those two together and you look through that, that is your narrow pathway. That's where you are going. And in these practices, what we are doing is we're learning how to be with all of the different components of that. Like, what are all the mechanics that allow us to be in? And the more I am practicing being in, the more I move into wholeness, because it's actually two sets of parentheses. It's my parentheses of my history and my possibility in relationship with my divinity and my capacity to rest. And those things come together. Today, what we're going to work on using our rise and shine practice is we're going to work on the forward possibility, the capacity that allows us to do the thing. And so it's kind of elusive. It's a part of the Holy Spirit, but it's kind of a blind spot, because we're running at the new thing, we're doing it, our brain, it doesn't have a map for it, so our brain is kind of a maze, but it's a good thing. So our brain just really is like, I can't believe this is happening. This is just really amazing. I don't even really know. Okay, so that's pretty much how the brain does, if it's even acknowledging it. Sometimes your brain literally thinks you didn't even do the good thing, because it just doesn't have a frame reference of it until you sit down at night and really look at, wow, I did that. I mean, it's ridiculous how much of a blind spot the forward movement is. And this is in 2026, the whole seminar series is going to be about defining the becoming part of this practice and helping the brain map to the becoming part. Today, what we're going to work on is you're going to look at your rise and shine practice. You want to go through where it says challenge, and you want to take and cross through challenge, and you want to write capacity. Now, the recognition of your capacity is a challenge, but we just want to write capacity down there. So that would be in the challenge changes to the capacity I'm facing today. The capacity I'm facing today. my mind and sees and thinks about this capacity. I'm going to change that, right? Capacity. I speak about today's capacity. You're going to change it all the way through. My impulse to behave as I face this capacity. You're just writing that word right now, just so your brain can begin to acknowledge that. My emotions that get evoked when I am invited into this capacity. My breathing responds what way? In the past, when I go into this capacity, the present challenge turns to capacity. Okay. So there's going to be something that has occurred over the last week or so that you have done that has been part of something, some new way of doing it. You're probably pretty excited that it is, or you're kind of amazed that you've been able to do it. And there's going to be something around that. There's something that is holding you, carrying you, being provided to you that is new, that allows you to do that thing. We're trying to find what that feels like. We're not trying to say it's me doing it. There's something that is being given to you that is bigger than you, beyond you, that your brain is going to be able to start to sense. One of the things that we're going to be doing in the Becoming series is we're going to be using blindfolds, because that's the way that my brain was taught how to feel more of these subtleties. And so we're going to be using those in that class. And so since we don't have that necessarily this morning, what you want to be able to do is really close your eyes and let yourself see, I'm looking for something, I'm looking for the quality of aliveness that is beyond me, that allowed me to do something new over the last whatever days it is. Okay, so whatever stands out for you, you want to see the thing. I'm going to unmute the mics, and I just want to see if you guys have the thing. Can you guys, is something standing out for you, the thing? We don't necessarily need to share the thing, but we're going to be talking about the capacity that it allows us. So as I'm writing that in the line next to the capacity I'm facing today. I was able to do something that I've never been able to do with a level of ease I've never even experienced before. Something that is typically hard for me to do. So do you guys have a thing that you can see and that you want to work with? I don't have my cell phone with me, so hopefully you can check in through the audio on that thing here. So I'm not hearing, there you go.
I'm in the blind spot for sure.
Say again.
I see all kinds of challenges, but I don't see the capacity. If anything, I think I've done less in the last couple of days. So I'm just stymied at the moment.
Okay. So you can pick a general capacity that is like your capacity to even be showing up for these practices. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
that's a significant capacity. And also becomes quite a blind spot as it becomes something that's
Yes.
normal, but it's not normal. Certainly not normal that you can show up for these classes, I'll tell you that. How about the other participant? Wonderful, but not normal. This one, even though we're talking about something that is good, it is harder. This is a harder thing to pay attention to. It's a harder thing for the brain to keep focusing on because the brain does not see a point in focusing on this. And also because this aliveness, when you really start to feel it, you can tell that it is not of you, that it's bigger than you. This is connecting with God, really helping the brain to physically feel the aliveness and the bigness and the profoundness of God and the smallness of us. So the brain, it's like, in our body diagram, as we're beginning to work with this, you're really going to be drawing stuff more outside the body. It will respond in your body too, but there is a quality that is, it's outside. But as you begin to strength train your capacity to feel that, I don't want to put all these words in. I don't want to put imagery in because your system is going to do it in your way. But it is very hard to see this. And I've been struggling with this over the last 6 weeks because he's been wanting me to talk about this in the practices, but it's hard to articulate it, number one. Second, to feel it, to articulate it, slow down and do it in real time, and then convey it in a way that allows for somebody else to connect with it as well. So this is a warm up of being able to do that. So we want to go really slow so that we can feel, am I feeling it? Some of your brains might be frustrated, not able in the beginning. That's a big part of this. This is challenging to do this. This is not like positive thinking. This is being able to literally feel the aliveness that is carrying us. And the fact that that has been carrying us our entire life, and that has been a blind spot for our brain to see the bigness of that and the smallness of us. It's a very important thing to be able to feel the profoundness of that. And then how do I fit like a little puzzle piece into that? And that's what this work is about. And as we become that, and as we do that, the relationship with that changes. There becomes so much more trust and capacity because you can begin to feel the scale, the difference in scale. And so it's much easier. I don't want to give you too many examples of me because I really want it to, for you guys to be able to have your own way of speaking about it. How about the other participant that's live? Do you feel something that's new? That's kind of new and fresh in your system, something that you've been able to do that is new. And also first participant, do you feel like you have a sense of one now too that you're connected with?
What's coming to me is that there are many capacities, I guess I'd say, that I already have, but I don't. I don't think of them as any big deal. And
That's
I'm
right.
wondering if that's where where that cutting edge is, maybe.
Yeah, that's
Because
it.
okay. So hmm,
So just pick one. I mean, it doesn't have to
okay.
be, we're gonna be spending a year with this because, and there is very distinctive things that are very important relationally for our brain to be able to understand. And the cool thing is that on a sensory level, you're going to be able to feel the distinctions of these. On a cognitive level, my brain is like, whatever, right? And so the way that our emotional sensory core works, that if it's not something that is high alert 911, my brain is over here focused on the next problem. It's
Right,
not
right.
helping it's not stopping so that my physiology, so that my body can align to the power that's allowing me to do this. And when you think about what's more powerful? Well, the answer is they're both actually equally balanced in power because I have to go back into relationship with this stagnated aliveness that's moving in the wrong direction from my history, these ways that I believe myself to be. I have to go into relationship with that, bring that to God, move into rest, let myself be renewed, then take new action. When I'm taking new action, I got to be able to realize the power that's carrying me, that's allowing that to happen, the distinction between myself and that power. And when I participate with that, then how that opens up my life. But there's a power there that is not of me. And that realization too, I'm redefining who I thought I was and who the divine has created me to be. And I'm becoming something totally different. I'm becoming a very conscious part of it and participating in it within the fundamentals and the mechanics and not that there's rules, like there's ways of engaging with this that allow that to be best practice, that allow me to do that consistently, because this is where peace is. This is where possibility is. This is where my potential is. It's not over here, but this is who I think I am. So over the next year, when we're doing these classes and when we're doing the Saturday retreats, we're gathering who I thought I was, who we thought we were, what we have lived as for 50, 60, 70 years, right? And we're strength training, coming into relationship with what is the aliveness that's present here for me into drive me forward into what I'm becoming. It's waiting for me. It's been waiting for me my whole life and has been with me my entire life. But my brain does not want to recognize it, not because of its ego, but because my brain is a machine that is focused on putting out fires and keeping me safe. It has not yet met on a sensory level the power that keeps me safe. It thinks it keeps me safe. It thinks it knows what to do. What we know is that my brain is not the one that's building the baby in my body. My brain is not the one that knows the map to wholeness. The divine knows that. And the way we find that is by finding the places that are disconnected from that and bringing it through the process into I used to relate to it this way, but now all of a sudden I'm doing this thing. How come I'm able to do this over here when I've known myself as this? That's what we're beginning to focus on today. We're putting our toe in the water and saying, okay, let's look at something that's new and let's begin to work with that and help the brain to see and map to what is the aliveness that allowed me to do that. The mistake that I made, not necessarily a mistake, but I think that we can shorten this decade of thinking that it's me having to make that happen. I spent a decade running at all these invitations I'm being told to do that I hear from the divine, but I was not letting the power of the divine carry me into that. So a big part of that was me then saying, I'm doing all this. I'm working through all this. Blah, 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 blah. Me. And that's very disempowering because the aliveness that actually carried me, as soon as over the last 6 months that we started doing the overflows and the rest with the consistency and the repetition that we've done, then my brain can actually see. And Jesus is saying, you need to be able to see this, because you're not going to be able to do big things unless you're being able to connect to a big power and realize that it's not you. And that is the fear of God, because it is, I'm being asked to do this big thing, and there is also an equally bigger than that thing power that's going to be given to me as a gift. And I have to be radically humble and radically understanding who I am in the scale of who the divine is and what my invitation is, and have practice in following that invitation so that I can do that thing. And there's something that is that big waiting for each of us. Right now, when we're looking at the scriptures, in Jonah, he's walking us step by step through, and you see how he has me reading it. It's like 2 verses, 1 verse, 2 verse, but those verses are relationally how we are at first going to run with all we have away from that invitation. And we will always do that, because I have to run away from it in order to see what is me. I have to pick up my limited self and then consciously bring my limited self back into relationship with the divine, and then be led through and receive the gift of the power that's going to let me go through it. But we can't know it unless we even have a language and a capacity to feel that capacity and the distinction between us and that power. And that we're not the one telling that power what to do. That power is telling us, this is the path I created you for. This is what I'm giving you so you can step into that path. Watch what happens when you receive the radical rest and care that I actually want you to be receiving, so that you can do where I'm asking you to go. So, major blind spot, and that's a big breakdown of how we don't see it, but it's extremely important. So we're going to take it piece by piece, pick a capacity, and now watch what happens. So I'll give you an example of mine, but I want to make space for you guys to feel your own. Yesterday, I drove down, or on Friday, I drove down to see my family 3 hours away, came back yesterday. We had just a great time. And I had my son with me and my dog with me, all this stuff, but I don't enjoy driving. But this was the most amazing drive for a lot of reasons that I'm not going to get into, but there was an aliveness that was making that happen. And I could actually, for the first time, feel that aliveness that I was being carried. And so when you think about your capacity, there's something like maybe even just however you made it to practice this morning. That's just not because you're like, oh, I'm going to get up and do practice. Like there is something, it feels like something as you are moving towards this new thing. Take a moment, we want to slow it down, and can you feel, it feels like something. So for me, what stands out, it feels like a radical ease. I mean, a radical ease that was preceding me, that was behind me, that was on all sides of me. And there was a joy in that ease, like a heartfelt joy. This is what we're looking for. What do you guys see or feel? Let's break it down. We want to slow it down. I see the thing I'm able to do, but what did I feel around me that allowed me to do that?
For me, it was more of a lack of feeling resistance. I don't know if this is where we're going, but
Yep.
like just the idea of getting up at 5 in the morning my brain was saying, absolutely no way. I've
Yeah,
struggled for 20 years since I retired. I'm not getting up in the morning. And yet
right,
there was something greater than me that has gotten me up. And
right.
without the resistance that I remember when I was working and I had to get up early, I would do it, but I sure didn't want to do it. And once I got going, I was all right. But every morning was a struggle. And this has been no struggle most of the time. Sometimes there is a struggle when I'm really, really tired in the struggle. And there's a couple of mornings that I thought I'm not going to do it this morning, but I couldn't go back to sleep, so I got up and did it anyway. So it's not 100%, but it's pretty
That's
close.
actually it, because that's where that's actually alive the most, is
Okay.
when I'm choosing, well, I'm not going to do it, and then it still is, and that's actually the one that you want to feel, because it's a
Okay,
lot.
because that feels like I'm not in charge. I can't even decide not to do it.
Hello.
With some other things, certainly I can. Okay. All right. So you're saying
There's
I'm
a,
on the right track because I'm blinded here. I don't know where I'm going.
exactly, and that's the whole point, and
Okay.
that's when you're carried. You think a baby knows where they're going when their parent is carrying them around and doing whatever they're doing? No, and
Yeah.
that's what we're being invited to do, right? And so
Okay.
it's two. It's actually two. And don't worry, we're going to be doing this for a year because this is really important. We're going to be doing both. We're going to be doing the challenges, and then we're going to be doing the new capacity. But there's two that you really have, which is I don't feel that resistance anymore. And see how the brain wants to even talk in its frame of reference is challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Its
Yeah.
reference is hard, right? So if it's not resistance, then what is it? I don't, it's not a,
Ah,
right? It's not a cognitive word. It's going to be a whole experience. That's what we're going to be receiving today. The second one is I wake up and I say, I'm not going to do this. And yet here I am. There's that thing. I don't want to put the words in and I don't want to put the imagery in because everybody's is going to be different. But there's something that still carries you to it. And that's what we're working with, okay? So for me, when I'm writing down the capacity, I'm writing next to that statement what I was able to do. That's kind of what's easy for our brain to see. What I was able to do was to drive down and back in a way that I've never been able to do. That was a major gift. And then there's something that felt like. That's what the capacity is I'm trying to receive. That's the power. So for yours, let's just pick the first one that you did, which is I have less resistance getting up in the morning for these practices most days. And then what does that feel like? Having less resistance.
it feels like a miracle.
Yeah, it's a miracle. It feels like you used a word. It's without effort, without something. You used a word for it that was very specific.
Well, it does feel well, I would just say normal, but what I would say is it was easy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to go for it by fighting for it. It
Mm-hmm.
was, oh, it was, okay. It was something that was being supplied to me. It's like somebody gave me a gift rather than me having to go to work for it. Oh my gosh. Okay.
There you go. And
Okay.
that's Christ. That's Christ. That's it saying, like, this is already forgiven to you. The power to do what I'm asking you to do. And those things are hard, but it's going to feel like this. It's going to feel like this. And we don't have to be afraid. But our brain cannot see it. It cannot see the gift. So you're writing down that's the capacity. That's the gift. That's the capacity that you're being invited to receive. Okay. Now we go into, now we're going to go in relationship with. So first we're going to help our body just take that in. Go back now to how you are held by the place that you are seated and feel your quality of support. And notice how that quality of support has changed and gotten more broad. And draw that into your body diagram. If there's colors that go with it, do the colors. And then we're going to turn. You want to be feeling that. You want to be turning. You want to be actively absorbing that. It's the word he gives me. Actively absorb that. So in your mind, you're saying, this is what I want to be taking in. I am this sponge, and I want to be actively absorbing this because that's what is going to empower me to take in a part of my history that has not yet met this. So as I'm turning side to side and I can feel tension or resistance in my body, I want to slow it down and let that aliveness be carrying me. And then to the other side. I want to more fully receive this. And then up and down. And when we're doing the movements, you know, when we're in our movement to rest practice, we're doing that same thing. The movement to rest practice is saying, now do that faster. Now, can you stay connected when you're doing like a repetition of movement? Can you do it even faster? Can I be doing the movement, but my frame of reference is, can I be letting go in this movement and letting my system open up rather than pushing in the movement? This is hard. Again, we're going to spend the entire year on this. He wants me to say that over and over and over again. Right now, in this first couple months, it's going to be seeing how I can't do this. So don't get frustrated. That gives the brain something to chew on. Look, I'm not that good at this yet. I'm a little bit good at it because I'm here in practice. So that's good. But we got some work to do. This is a strength training, and that's okay. So you're turning side to side. You can feel it. And now we're going to begin to work with this. So we're saying, my mind sees and thinks about today's capacity, today's gift, like what? How do I see myself in relationship with that? I'm talking about the ease. Mine is ease and radical joy. And that there was something moving like a buffer around me, all around me, that was active and directive to me. How does your mind see yourself in it? And then we want to be noticing how I speak about it is kind of tricky because most times my brain isn't even really acknowledging that that's the case, or if I'm speaking about it, I'm really talking about myself. in some way. So notice how your brain speaks about that capacity. And then my impulse to behave as I was facing into that capacity. What's going on? Come here. And then the emotions and the sensations that are evoked when you experience this capacity are what? And then notice how your breathing responds to this capacity. How does your breathing respond to this? And in the past, when I have faced into a similar capacity, here, you little talking cat. Come here. We're not done yet. So really think about your history, your ages and stages with this quality and what that felt like. You want to be able to notice in your body the parts of your body that were working as you were navigating through this type of capacity. You want to feel where that is. And then this present challenge makes me think, what is going to happen, or this, I'm sorry, present capacity, if this is something that never leaves you, what is possible for you today? If this is something that is never leaving you, when you think about your day to day, he's saying, make it small, make it something that is tangible here. What is possible for me today? Think about what's on your schedule for today. Think about what you're doing, and how is this something that is going to be with you today? And are you going to be able to slow down and connect to this today and watch what's able to unfold? So take future out and put the word today. Today. Okay, so now we are going to turn to our Creator and let our Creator teach us how to be in relationship with this. So this is like I'm being given a new phone and we have no idea how to use the functions and features, right? I have no idea. So I have to ask my Creator, show me how to do this. Show me how to receive this. How do I work with this? What is my role in relationship to this aliveness? So go back to how you're held by your seat. And we're going to turn side to side. And I'm going to look up and down. And you can maybe feel parts of your body that are stiff or tight. All of this is going to change as we begin to partner with this and work with this. Baby steps every day, but certainly steps forward every day. Steps into this. I would say steps in, not steps forward. Okay, so in line number 3, underneath how my mind sees it, I'm putting my name. And then I'm going to be speaking to my Creator. For me, I understand that to be Jesus. So I'm saying, Jesus, this is how I see this. And this is how I see myself in this. Show me what you want me to see. You want to write that response down into your journal. And then we're connecting with our Creator. We're saying, this is how I speak about today's capacity. And you're noticing what response you get back. And then my impulse to behave as I face into this capacity. And then my emotions and my sensations that are evoked when I experience this capacity. I know, buddy. Just wait a second. You're good. Just give me a minute. You're gonna be okay. It's okay. And then your breathing responds to this capacity. In the past, when I've faced into a similar capacity, when I've been carried in this way in the past, or things have been progressing in the past, notice what that was like for you. And we're showing that to our creator and what is revealed to you from your creator. And then this present capacity makes me think, what is going to happen in my future? Today, sorry, today. He's saying today, today, today. Focus on today. Focus on bringing the focus here today so that you can begin to work with it. It's not this big out there thing, but it is a living thing that you are relating to now. And he's like, this is like the beginning of a year's worth of working with this. He's like, you're going to be harnessing kryptonite because your brain doesn't recognize it, but you're going to be learning how to be in relationship with it in a completely new way where you are not the one who's in power. But you are receiving this profound gift that's waiting for you. How can you work with that today? Let your creator lead you into that. And we're asking our creator, how do I apply this to my day today? Show me the exact steps you want me to take to live this out, to receive this. And so how was that? What did you all notice? What stands out?
The push-pull relationship that I have with my new capacity is very curious. On the one hand, I want more, more. And on the other hand, I'm like, not yet, not yet. So there's this odd dance that I find myself in of of drawing near and backing up and drawing near, backing up. So the story of Jonah is just so perfect right now.
Yep, yep. And also, like, if you can feel in your body, in your mind and in your body where that happens,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're caring for in the physical practices. So when we're doing the movement, when we're doing the percussion, when we're doing that, and also the Carried in Christ class that was put into the app and then I sent you guys out, that's going to actually help you be with the mental part of that, how the mind and then the body are like, they don't yet know how. They don't yet know how. And you want it, but then it's like, it's the biggest blind spot, it's the biggest unknown, and it's the biggest trust, right? And that's okay. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be because it's not us. It's a gift. So when you're looking at your body diagram and when you're looking at that, you just want to say, okay, even though there's movement practices that are up right now on YouTube and also in the app, you don't have to do those. You can use those as your time frame buffer. So I can do 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Today I'm going to put up one that's 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, or 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes rest. So you can use those time frame markers, but do your own thing for where your body, what your body is showing you. Yeah. Because whatever your body's showing you trumps whatever we are talking about or doing that day. You don't have to do the movements that are on the thing. You're trying to follow what is your body showing you in this moment, because that's what you're doing in every moment. That's what you need to be doing in life. What is my body feeling right now? How do I move it in a way that is helping me to open up? So yeah, sometimes the movements might be helpful, but most times those movements that are up there that I'm offering are not going to be what fit you, but the rhythm of how we move through it will. And you have to be able to look at what I'm doing and say, yeah, but this is what I'm doing. And if we each can do that in our lives, then we're each standing where the divine wants us to stand. Not in a way of resistance, like I'm not doing what she's doing, or blah, blah, blah. But maybe it is doing a movement I'm doing, but instead of doing 50 of them, you're doing 2 super, super slow and just feeling what's going on. If there's no way I can do that. That's the primary thing that comes up. Then do it how? There's no way I can do it that way, but how? How? If I let Jesus or let my creator reveal to me what I am to be doing, that's what I'm doing. It should look totally different for each of us if we're doing it really within ourselves. So when you're feeling, I can feel that push pull, we want to carry that through the movements too. Really, really cool. Isn't this neat?
Thank you. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, really cool. How about the other participant? What stands out for you?
It seems like there's some unraveling going on now that I sit with it a little more calmly. Where when I was younger, being the oldest in the family, I felt very comfortable following whatever my parents told me to do, and authority figures were very comfortable for me. And yet, at some point, I moved into a place of questioning whether they were really doing the right thing or helping me and whatever. And a lot of confusion ensued because that was the way I used to do things. And so I rejected, I went overboard, I guess I would say, in terms of trying to find my own meaning, what's going on within me. And at this point, right now, is starting to understand that choosing not to do something just because someone said I should is interfering with my listening ability and my ability to do what I'm guided to do.
Yeah.
So just that acknowledgement seems like it's unraveling something that's going to be very, very much a gift for me.
Yeah, really helpful. And it's the same thing with that too, just like with what the other participant said, I feel a push and pull. You want to feel in your body where that, where your relationship with authority figures, like where it's almost like, I'm using a word like bristling, like, oh no, I'm like, whatever that is that rises up and wherever that goes, your body carries that. And so that's what you want to take care of. If you can feel that whatever it is that happens, I don't even want to say too much about it because it's going to be how it comes up for you. Draw that in your body diagram, and that's what you're doing the Theragun on. You're taking care of that part of yourself because that part of yourself has felt like it has to be the creator of anything that's going to be good. It feels
Yes.
to be that creator, right? And
yes, it does.
so, and that's a lot of weight. And you're never going to be able to be knowing what's actually going to be what's true for your heart, because only God knows that. And God wants to give you that. But if we're told by the world that no, I'm the creator, I'm the one that's going to do this, then, and I was living by that for a very long time, but what I'm being given right now is a wholeness that includes everywhere that I have come from. And there is no more enemies or whatever I believe the things to be. They're not that. And the reason why that happens is that's because our nervous system is what does that. Just like when we had class the other day, when we tried to do this the other day, and there were two participants who came in late, and the echoes of how disruptive that was kept them from being able to even feel this, because the echoes are so loud. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It does the same thing, and it does it through the whole trajectory of our whole life. That's all we can hear is that stuff in our nervous system that has not been cared for. So it is so loud, I can't see or hear or feel, or certainly not receive and actually move into a long-term relationship with something that's much greater and more profound and is not effortless and painful and whatever. Instead, when I start doing that, I get to rest. That part of me that thinks that it had to be in control of everything, God's offering it rest first today. And so the way that we do that, the way that we step into that rest is by taking care of it with the percussion tool first. The percussion tool and the movements and our ability to move into relationship with that are like the first responder. Because if I can't even feel that, that is still, those echoes of that are still going to be what's leading me, no matter what I want to say, no matter what I want to try to do. that still is the prominent thing because it's coming from my nervous system and my brain trying to establish safety. It is the most fundamental part of your brain that is beneath all your consciousness, beneath everything. That's going to trump everything. And so when it's kind of funny because when we're doing the practices these are capacity practices. So when we do a capacity practice, you begin to feel this big expansive open place, and what's going to come right behind it, if you look at your infinite flow model, what comes as soon as you start to tap into that is where you're not able to receive that yet. That's what's going to show up. So you can see at the end of practice, you can see all three of us have the thing. This is what I need to care for today, and to get to invite into this rest, into this possibility. And every single day we do this, there's going to be something, because what God has waiting for us is infinite and we are limited. So every day we're going to be working on the next limitation that comes up for us. And there doesn't need to be any judgment or shame or frustration or whatever around that. It's just like every day I get a new gift every day. If I was going to be able to just get it done in one day, then all my gifts have been given to me. I want Christmas every day, which is a miracle of renewal every single day. For me, one of the things that stood out that was so beautiful about the last couple of days was that I could see I was around 8 people. And every single one of those people were able to organically be happy and their best self with me as I was able to receive this. Now that is remarkable when you have an entire life history with all of these people. This is not like strangers. This is a family dynamic that's been going on since I've been born and a part of this family. And the whole entire thing and every person involved in that were also experiencing more ease and joy and peace. So much so that we were even connecting with each other after saying, that was just so beautiful. That was amazing. That was the best time we've ever had together as a family. Authentically connected. Amazing. And so the big takeaway is, and I'm sure you guys will see this too, when you guys even just get up and are doing the practices, it changes everybody around you. It changes every interaction you go into in that day. And if we were able to, and we are going to be able to, because this is what we're spending 2026 doing, if we're able to really look to the aliveness that's carrying us and cling to that, fix ourselves to that, so that we can very tenderly gather the parts of ourselves that don't yet know it, that aren't yet familiar with it, and bring them into the fold, into the rest, into the care. This is how we're moving in this rhythm. It's just absolutely, it's a miracle and it's a gift. Thank you guys for being here with me this morning. This is a very important practice, this one this morning, and we're going to be going deeper and deeper here, but today really covered a lot of the fundamentals of this and helps us to help our brain seek out these capacities like you're looking for Easter eggs. You want to be seeing the physical thing happening. Look at my thing that just changed, but I want to quickly be finding, what did it feel like? What did that feel like for me to just do that? Or that just happened. How did that happen? What is the feeling that I feel in my body that's allowing that to occur? Right now, it feels very elusive and like it's a miracle and it's amazing and it's a gift. And we want to say these things like, I'm in awe and I'm thankful. And that keeps us kind of still hovering above it. We want to start coming down into it so that there's a language and a framework that my brain is beginning to build, that this is all the time. This is not just sometimes or whenever the wind blows, right? This is all the time. And I can connect to this all the time. And that gives me the power to then gather in the suffering. And Jesus wants me to, I'm going in and I'm putting another class in the app. So hopefully I'll let you guys know it's there, but you want to be able to go in there and get it, because Jesus is saying, now show them the passion of the Christ. Now show them. I got an Instagram yesterday that showed they reconstructed what a human body would look like after the crucifixion. And it's alarming to see. And the reason why we want to see that is because Jesus is saying, when you are clinging to this power, you are able to allow significant suffering to meet me through you. You will have the capacity and you will not be harmed. Your physical body may be harmed, but that you are bigger than your physical body and it will not hurt in the same way. And I can attest to this. I cut my thumb off and I've had major things happen that he's walked me through in this. I've nailed my hand to a wall. I've done a whole bunch of stuff that he's had me do. And it is true. It doesn't, you do not, the weight of it does not impact you the same way as if I'm coming only from my brain, only from my power. And it's the most radical part of this. But he's saying, I want you to feel this capacity, and then I want you to understand with your brain, to the little bit that you can, that this capacity can take you there and you will not be destroyed. You will be made even stronger by whatever it is that you're getting ready to face. And so this is not about us just basking in the sun. This is about us taking in the history of our lives and letting that be remade so that we can change history by radically, actively moving towards things that are seemingly harmful, wrong, bad, evil, and offering them love in the same way that you're going to do today when you care for the part of yourself that's unsettled with the Theragun, with the movement, and with the rest. We're using these same principles over and over and over again, but the spectrum of it and how far we can take it is what he modeled for us and more. He said, you're going to do greater things than me. And the foundation of that starts with us being able to relate to things that our brain thinks are the wrong thing. This is very exciting. And for 2026, I am just amazed. We are a small group that is slowly growing. And even just with a few of us, I can see how my life changes others' lives when I stand in this, and I see the same thing happening for each of you guys. And this is the beginning of it. This is amazing. We had to have done being in relationship with a challenge so that we could even find the capacity. If we don't move towards the challenge, we don't see that something greater is actually carrying us through that. So it's both. Thank you all for being here. It's my honor to be here with you. I want to bow my head, my heart, and my life to my living Jesus Christ, my living Creator, God, and the Holy Spirit, who provide a narrow path for me that is a path to my wholeness, a path to my gift for this world. And I look forward to this next year, learning to move in deeper relationship with you and in deeper relationship with this community so that I can truly stand in the gifts and receive them through the glory of your power, your life that you're here giving to us. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And I hold the space for those of you whose heart calls to your Creator in a different name. We are here coming together to become whole. There is space for everything here. All right, you guys, I will see you when it suits your schedule next. Monday morning is tomorrow. We have our Overflow practice. I look forward to seeing you guys bright and early. For those of you who can make it, I will send out replays for those of you whose schedule is inviting you to go in a different direction. It doesn't mean that you're not going to still have access. So I'll send those out to you. And I love you all. I'll see you when it suits your schedule next. Take care.